Hi everyone, in this video I will share some of the best DataView JavaScript code snippets that I have found. I wanted to share some of the advanced DataView codes that I was using, but during the research of this video I found some more code snippets that were really cool. For example, this one called as Tag Cloud, which displays all the tags in your world in this format with the numbers of the tag, and when you click on this it will take you to that search box for that tag. Another one is called as Page Cloud, which will display all of the nodes in your world in this format. You can also configure this DataviewJs JavaScript code to search for nodes from a particular folder over here. So this is just an example of some of the DataviewJs JavaScript snippets that I'm going to share with you today. In most of these snippets, you don't need to make any changes, such as this vault stats, tag cloud, page cloud, Obsidian Commands. You don't need to make any changes in these snippets, but for others like habit tracking, a book library, progress bar, progress tracking, etc., you will need to make some changes based on your own needs. And even if you do not have a good coding experience, I have provided all of the information in the same code snippet over here. I have added a comment, and if even the comment is not enough, then you can go to Cloud, which is an AI by Anthropic. You can paste the code over here and tell it what you want to do, or tell it what you want the output to be like, and then it will suggest you the code and you can use that code. If you get error, you can paste the error to the AI and it will give you another suggestion that you can use. Now let me share the first DataviewJs JavaScript code, that is for vault stats. This code will first calculate the days since your first node creation in Obsidian, then it will count the total number of nodes as well as the total number of tags you are using in your vault, and finally it will create a visually appealing display that works in both light mode and dark mode. Now if I go to preview mode, it will look like this, and you can add this code to anywhere. Maybe you can add this to your dashboard or something like that. The next DataviewJs JavaScript code that we have is for habit tracking with streaks. So this is a DataviewJs JavaScript code that will track your habits. Currently it is only tracking 3 habits, that is writing, exercise and reading. Now this is where you will need to make some changes to the code. Currently it is fetching data from the reflect folder, which is not present over here because I have stripped this DataView code from my personal Obsidian world. So you will need to make some changes over here. Then you will also need to make some changes over here where it is looking for writing property, workout property and reading property in the daily note template. And for this to work, you will need to add properties to the daily note. And these are the properties that we have over here. Let me tell it to track these extra 3 properties. Okay, expenses, XP and day plan. If you already have good experience with coding, then you can do it yourself. You can see over here, you will need to make changes in multiple places. Okay, so here we also have the function to create streak for a given habit, then calculate the streak record, and then the completed habit will be marked as check mark sign and the incomplete habit will be marked as this red box. So if I go to preview mode now, it does not show any data. Let's first use journal folder because that's where I have configured all of the daily nodes for this vault, and now it shows 2 nodes. Let me add some more nodes. Okay, now it's working. Currently it is only tracking these 3 habits. Now I can use AI in order to make some changes to this DataView code. I'll go to the daily node template and copy the properties from here. Okay, I'll also need to copy this DataviewJs JavaScript code, paste the DataviewJs JavaScript code over here. I asked it to make some changes to this DataviewJs JavaScript code to fit my personal needs. Instead of tracking the current habits, I want you to track the following habits. I added the metadata from the daily note. So let's see if we get the desired result or not. Now the AI has given us the code. I can just copy this, add it over here. I'll just need to mention DataviewJs over here, then paste the code. If I go to preview, now it will show all of these habits. Okay, let's try to add some data to all of these habits. We'll enable the option to view properties over here. Editor, properties, visible. And I will add some data over here. I'll write 5, writing done, workout done, reading done for 30 minutes. XP is 20, expenses is 200. Okay, let's write 300. Day plan is done. I'll add some more data over here for third. Let's say focus meditation is 10, writing is done, workout is not done, reading for 60 minutes. XP is 90, expenses, let's write 500, day plan done. Now let's go back to our habit tracking and see what we get. Now you can see here, this is focus meditation, this is writing, exercise, reading, expenses, and day plan. Now you can make changes to the code as per your necessity. Currently, it will mark everything as complete, but if you want to add some criteria, such as if you read for 20 minutes or if you read for 40 minutes daily, only then that goal will be completed. Then I guess you can assign that over here as well. You can see here in the code, if focus meditation is greater than 0, then it will be marked as done. I'll just use 6 as a parameter over here and let's see what happens. Now the focus med habit is not completed. Even though we have added 5 focus med sessions, it is not complete because we set the minimum criteria as 6. Similarly, you can do the same thing over here as well. And if you don't know or if you do not understand the logic, you can always go back to the Cloud AI and use the natural language in order to customize this habit tracking. And finally, you also have these streaks as well as records view of all of those habits. This is a really cool way to track your habits, and you can make more customizations to this view based on your own needs. Let us move to another data view snippet, which is also for habit tracking, but this snippet will be used for tracking habits by logging method instead of using it by properties. Currently, the habits are checked from properties, but with this data view snippet, you can, let's say, I have a daily note. Then you can just write a log over here and add a task for habits such as day plan, okay, day plan, exercise, writing. You can write it like this, and then you can check this option from here, and then it will be tracked by using the habit tracking without properties data with JavaScript. You'll definitely need to make some changes to this code because you can see here the start date is 2021 because I copied this code from Obsidian forum, I guess. Then here you can also see the places where you need to make changes like this. You can again go to Cloud AI, paste this code and ask for help or suggestions or anything that you need to, or tell it to make the changes that you want. Now, the next DataView JavaScript code that I will share with you is for Obsidian Commands. This is a DataView JavaScript code that will list all of the Obsidian commands that you have in your Obsidian world. There are 2 versions of this. The first one is called Obsidian Commands. The second one is called Obsidian Commands Sorted. This will list all of the commands that are in your world. It has 205 commands currently enabled. But this one will only sort the commands which you have assigned as hotkeys. There are only 45 commands that I have assigned hotkeys to in this world. This can be a better way to find all of the commands and hotkeys that you are using in your world instead of going to settings, then hotkeys, and searching through all of the hotkeys and assigning one by one. The next DataView JavaScript code that we have is for progress tracking. I found this DataView JavaScript code on Discord. So what it allows you to do is it sets the start and end date. Okay, it does not allow you originally, it did not allow you to set the start date and end date, but I used AI in order to add this function. And then it will filter the nodes within this date section. And then it will count that particular property. So what you can use this is for tracking your goals or tracking your habits by using Obsidian properties. By default, with the habit tracker kind of DataView JavaScript code, you can only see information like this. You cannot see the progress view of your habit or task. But with this, you can track the progress that you are making using the properties. Let me show you an example. This is currently tracking the XP property from our node. And I think we have misplaced some value because it is showing 20,000 over here. Let's go to these nodes and I guess there is nothing wrong with the code, but it is not correctly adding these values. Let me correct this first and get back to you after that. What it was doing was, it was adding all of these elements. Like I had 200 in one node, 90 in another, and 20 in another. So it was just adding one after another instead of adding the value. This is fixed here. Let's try to add new value. Okay, I'll add 100 XP over here so that it should become 410. And here we are doing correct in this code. And you can see here 100 is added after the previous value. So I'll just remove that code from here. You can use this DataviewJs JavaScript code in order to track your progress. Instead of just using check marks for completing habit, you can specify a certain amount that you want to do every day, and then you can use that amount to track your progress over time, just like this. You may use it for other use cases as well. The next DataviewJs JavaScript code that we have is for progress bar in table view. This is a table view that you can create using DataView. But if you want to create progress bar, then you will need to make some changes. You can also create this kind of thing using just DataView, but I guess DataView JavaScript is better here. Let me try to show you by creating a new node. I'll create a goal folder over here and add a new node, goal 1. Okay. And I will add some properties over here, deadline, that are represented in that table view. So I'll just assign it 9th October. And we have the column headers as goal and progress. So we'll be using property as goal as well as progress. You can also see here, this is the property that we need to use, or we should change the property. We should change this based on the property that we want to track. So I'll go to goal folder again here. Goal is, let's say, 260. Okay, a random thing. And progress is 39. Let's go back to the progress bar in table view and make some changes based on these properties, goal, deadline, and progress. And you can see here we have the table view with the progress bar, but there are some errors. Let's see what we have got here. Okay, the property names would be progress and target instead of goal. This is just the header. So let's make changes. And this will be target and this will be progress. Let's see. Now we are getting it right. And I don't know why deadline is not working. We have already added the deadline property, but let's try to debug it. Okay, I guess we'll need to make it lowercase over here. And now it's working. So these are the little changes that you need to make on some of these DataviewJs JavaScript codes in order to make them work for your use case. Now the next DataviewJs JavaScript example is for book library, or you can use this for any other kind of libraries such as movie library or series or tracking anything other like that. So I have a few books over here, book notes over here with all the properties that I already use in my original vault. And you can use this DataviewJs JavaScript code in order to track your books. Currently, it does not have the progress tracking feature, but you can add it similarly. You can add the code from here, progress bar, right? You can create a new column over here. Let me try to do that and see if I am able to do that. This is not progress tracking, but progress bar table. Now I'll need to add another column over here, okay, called progress. Now I will add the code for progress over here. Okay, this is the code. Copy this. I'll enable the source mode over here as well. Paste it. Let's see if we get something. Okay. It says goal is not defined. I'll just go back and copy these both codes and go to AI, go to Cloud AI and tell it to make the desired changes. So I'll just paste this code for, this is goals. And now I'll paste the code for book library. I want to track the progress of book reading as well. Rewrite the DataviewJs JavaScript code for book tracking. And let's see if we get the result that we want. Copy this code and just, okay, we'll first need to write DataviewJs. Paste it here. And currently it says 0% is completed because we have not added, let's see what is the property name. The property name is current page and total page. Let me show you by making those changes, okay? I'll go to Dopamine Nation and we already have total page over here. Current page is, let's say, 10. Now if I go back, you can see here, I have completed 69% of the book. And you can make this even better. You can make the book library or media database better by using the card CSS, which is only available in minimal theme. But if you do not have minimal theme, you can extract the CSS for cards and use that as a CSS over here. I'll just show you by switching to the minimal theme. And if you want to see some more CSS snippets, then I have created another video showcasing some of the best CSS snippets. You can check it out from there as well. I'll provide the video link in the description. I have not added any properties over here. To enable the cards view, I'll first need to use CSS classes and use cards property over here. This is what it looks like. It does not look pretty. Maybe there needs to be some refinement as well, but this is how you create cards view. And this is the DataviewJs JavaScript query by using progress tracking for books. Now let's talk about the table of content DataviewJs JavaScript. I find this really useful as well. Currently, you will see there is no results over here. This table of content JavaScript query I found on GitHub, and the creator of Tag Cloud, Page Cloud, Alphabetized List, and this table of contents all are the same. Okay, I'll provide the link to the source over here, and he is the creator called as Ether Inox. So he has created all of these 4 DataviewJs JavaScripts. What this table of content DataviewJs JavaScript does is it creates a table of content for all the nodes in that particular folder. It does not create table of content for a particular node, but for a particular folder. Let me show you an example. To view this table of content, you will need to create a node inside the folder with the same name. Okay, I'll just delete this over here because I already have it. So this is a book folder. I'll need to create a new node with a book name, which is the same as the folder name. Go to books, paste it. Now if you go to preview mode, you will be able to see the table of contents view of all the nodes inside this folder. You can see here, I have an outline or table of contents view of all the nodes inside this books folder. You can see here, this is a book node called as anything you want, and all of the headings inside this book node are over here. Similarly, this is another book called as Dopamine Nation, and all of the headings inside this are over here. Similar for write useful books as well. You will need to remember that it will only work if you have the title of the node same as the folder title. Display no result. Let me change that over here. So if I go to preview mode again, you can see here, it cannot read the properties, books. Now it does. Now another DataView JavaScript code is called as tag cloud, which will display all of the tags that are in your world. And it will display the number of tags as well with this beautiful visual, but this visual needs to be configured with CSS. You can see over here in the appearance, I have used tag cloud CSS. That is why it has such beautiful visual. If I disable it, it will look plain like this. Let me enable that again. And clicking on any of these links will take you to the source view to see all of the nodes with this link. You do not need to make any changes to these DataView JavaScript code snippets that I share afterwards, like table of content, tag cloud, base cloud, alphabetized list, etc. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is that if you have a large database, then it will have some performance issues because of the large query it is doing. So always remember to sort through a particular path only. The next DataviewJs snippet is called as Page Cloud. It is similar to Tag Cloud, but it will list all of the pages instead of tags. And you can see here, I love this one. But as I already said, do not try to use it for querying your whole vault if you have a large database of nodes. I'm doing the whole vault query over here because this vault is relatively small. But if you have thousands and thousands of nodes, then this will not work properly. It might have some performance issues. So you can see here, clicking on any of these nodes will take you back to that node. And I love this one. But this is also created using the CSS. If you do not have the CSS enabled, it will look plain like this. But the CSS makes it look completely different. And if you go to the source over here, it has both a CSS as well as the DataView JavaScript code, and it has multiple versions as well. I'll provide link for all the resources that I share on my Patreon post, and all of these DataView JavaScript codes as well as snippets will be shared as an Obsidian vault. I'll share this same vault so that you can directly copy these codes and paste it inside your vault. The next one that is similar to Page Cloud is Alphabetized List, which will create this alphabetical view of all of your nodes. If you click on any of these alphabets, it will display all of these nodes. It looks like a table of content, but with alphabets. It currently do not have all the alphabets because this vault does not have nodes for all of the alphabets. This is another DataView JavaScript code that you might find useful. The best one among all of these DataView JavaScript code for me is the Page Cloud. Maybe because I am already using all of these, they do not excite me much. I find this Page Cloud one really useful to view all of your nodes in this view. You can use this cloud in multiple folders, such as you can create one node in each folder and use it to query only that folder. You can change the query over here and it will only query from that particular folder to show all of the nodes in that particular folder without causing any performance issues. So this is all for this video. These are the DataView JavaScript code snippets that I found. Some of them I was already using and some of them I found when I was researching for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me for creating more content like this, you can do so via the link given in the description. You can support me on Patreon. Special thanks to those who are already supporting me on Patreon. Your help really means a lot. Thank you for watching. You have a great day. See you again. Bye.